And then as the day goes on, I imagine that you will see lots of delays building up. Anybody in the Gatwick area, already hearing from people down there about possible go-arounds. That's where you're coming into land and it's a bit too windy and the captain, he or she hits the take off and go around button.
Chloe Tilley and Callum MacDonald on Times Radio Breakfast.
Brace yourselves for severe weather on the way today. The Met Office says Storm Isha will bring 80-mile-an-hour winds and damage to buildings, as well as travel disruption. Simon Calder, travel correspondent of The Independent, is here. Hello, Simon.
Yes, it's all looking pretty miserable already. The Port of Dover has just put out a warning that the English Channel is very rough. They've got a fresh Gale 8. They say the visibility is good, but it's going to be very, very lively out there. And in the south of England, it's going to be particularly bad tonight. National Highways just put out a warning saying if you've got any kind of high-sided vehicle, do not travel, particularly between 9 p.m. tonight and 3 o'clock in the morning. We've got 80-mile-an-hour gusts expected. And really, any form of transport you'd like me to ask about, I can tell you various forms of disruption which will, unfortunately, possibly affect your journey.
Well, should we do some Network Rail and what it's going to be like on trains?
It's going to be pretty grim. So you've got already cancellations going in for tomorrow morning. That's because Network Rail very concerned about trees and other things falling onto the lines. Therefore, they're going to be putting in speed restrictions, which are going to slow things down today, particularly on Great Western. But South Eastern, which runs from Kent into London, is saying we're not going to run the early trains. We're going to be busy out going to see if there is debris on the tracks. South Western Railway says it's going to be horrible from noon today until noon tomorrow. And then moving sort of further north up the country, there will be various bits of disruption along the way. Some of them, I regret to say, probably connected with trampolines blowing onto the line. You wouldn't think there were that many trampolines in the world, but every single storm we get, there are blockages caused by these things. If they get tangled up in the overhead lines, then your train is toast for the rest of the day.
Yeah, weigh stuff down, put big, heavy things on them. Goodness me.
Yes.
My dad will be out and about today putting concrete blocks on anything he can find around the garden, let me tell you that.
Right, not pets, I hope.
No, absolutely not. No, they'll just stay inside. They'll
Fantastic.
be fine. What about flying, Simon?
Oh, goodness, yes. Okay, so it's going to be quite lively. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Big Jet TV,
yes,
but it's
very.
at times like this.
So
you've got at the moment very, very strong southwesterly winds coming up. Now, that is inconvenient if you're a pilot because most of the runways at Gatwick Heathrow are run east-west, so you've got a bit of a crosswind already. British Airways has cancelled so far 26 arrivals and departures in and out of Heathrow. That's fairly normal because they will be, particularly later on today, slowing the flow rate, the number of planes that can come in and land because of the high winds. And since Heathrow is effectively full, that just means something's got to give, and it's always British Airways. That's the biggest airline that cancels those. They're on routes like Barcelona, Cologne, Newcastle, where they've got multiple frequencies, so they'll put you on other planes, but that's a bit of a nuisance. And then as the day goes on, I imagine that you will see lots of delays building up. Anybody in the Gatwick area, already hearing from people down there about possible go-arounds. That's where you're coming into land, and it's a bit too windy, and the captain, he or she hits the take off and go around button, and off you go.
It's very normal. It's
very
procedure.
normal. And
it's not nice when it happens, though, is it? Let's be honest.
Well, I think it's exciting.
Oh,
it is
no.
exciting.
Genuinely. And it's all they practice for this, and it's all very good, and there is no safety implication whatsoever. They are doing it entirely to keep you safe. So, wherever you're going, hope for the best, but be prepared for delays and disruption, as we have discussed countless times.
Yeah, and with all of that in mind, Simon, there's an interesting announcement from the Rail Minister on half-price tickets.
Yes, okay. So here we have the Great British Rail Sale. This is an idea that I've been talking to the Rail Minister, Hugh Merriman, about, who says it's all about persuading people to come back to the railway.
We're very excited to announce the Great British Rail Sale. So over 1 million tickets on the railway will be available up to half price. And we want to try and entice more people on the railways to go and take a city break, go and visit their friends and family, and go and explore the wonderful countryside and really get them onto the railways, because we're keen to grow the railways.
And that sounds like an excellent aim, particularly from the point of view of people like me who use trains the whole time, and I know you two do as well. And it's marvellous. We're getting half-price tickets, but there's a few things to be slightly concerned about. First of all, 1 million tickets isn't actually that many.
Yeah.
It's going to be going from the end of January through to the 5th of March. And so you're sort of spreading it across 35, 36 days. So you're only talking about 30,000 or so tickets per day, and you've got millions of people travelling every day. Also, it's only going to be, or very largely going to be on advance tickets, because the only way you can control the levels is to say, OK, it's only going to be advance tickets, and when they've gone, they've gone. You can't apply it to, for instance, any time tickets. So the savings are going to be modest. The big game that the government is trying to play is to entice people back onto the railways, or persuade people maybe out of their cars who've never tried a train to come onto the railways, which is great. The two big problems are, first of all, it's going to be people like me and you who are actually taking advantage of it and just saving money on journeys we'd be making anyway. And secondly, of course, as it's going to be disrupted by the next 13 days of industrial action, with ASLEF train drivers taking an overtime ban and rolling regional strikes. That starts on the 29th of January, just before the rail fares come into effect. But if you want a half-price ticket, they go on sale on Tuesday.
Well, good luck to you if you're trying to get one. Simon Calder, thank you very much. Simon Calder, travel correspondent of The Independent.